where advice meets action, with programs to spark your growth, lift your spirits, and help you rise into your potential. Rise Awakening! Hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakening, now is the time. Rise Awakenings, let's rise together.
Ash on our clothes. We walked out of hunger. We found a ghost high in the bright sky, feather and gold. The eagle went forward. Step by broken step, we found how strong we are. Arm on a shoulder, voices rough but clear. Guided by the eagle, we carried each other here. Old scars were speaking, names we once cursed. As one. Oh, the fire in our circle looks like the sun. Oh, we know each heartbeat. We know each face. The road made us a people. Became our place. Guided by the eagle, home from Red
It's Brindlewolf and Diane, so listen up if you can. Yeah, journey with them today.
First episode of
They help you find
Phoenix
your
Talks,
way.
a podcast
Oh.
that's Diane and I are going to bring it to you. And we're going to be talking about various different topics that we decided to talk about.
Will lead to our refinements. Phoenix Talks, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix Talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix Talks with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can, as they help us to transform and find refuge from the storm. Because all the branches they will climb for you, just in the nick of time. With Brindlewolf and Diane, Phoenix Talks, so tune in if you can, as they help us to transform and find refuge from the storm. Because all the branches they will climb for you, just in the nick of time. Because they have a lot to say. Yeah, you'll feel different in every way. Oh, in alignment they have flown. Your transformation will be shown. Phoenix talks, a show like you've never seen. Phoenix talks, awareness that has never been. Phoenix talks, with Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix talks, so tune in if you can. With Brindlewolf and Diane. Phoenix talks, so tune in if you can.
We know about the ones. We know about the ones walking down the halls of school, acting out, being loud, thinking that they're cool. Picking on the little guy, pushing him around, saying, "What's that? Shut up, don't make a sound." Being cruel, throwing down, laughing at them, using at the ones who won't fight back, they keep abusing, creating fear to avoid what's actually inside. A bully's mask, they wear to hide. Toss them out, put them down, push them to the floor. Take the money, take the pride, always wanting more. Deflecting, rejecting, gossip, spreading rumors. Anger on the inside grows like a cancer-ridden tumor. But what about the ones that never throw a punch? Hanging with the populars, what the proper bunch. Picking on the ones who don't really fit in. Throwing out slurs as if existence was a sin. Leaders telling rose-colored lies to the ones who are in need to join the group led by a manufactured creed. Gaslight the ones who were stolen in the night, forced to the back of the bus, hide in plain sight, creating a fear of a different kind. Lies of a bully to mess with the mind. Toss them out, put them down, push them to the floor. Take the money, take the pride, always wanting more. Deflecting, rejecting, gossip, spreading rumors. Anger on the inside grows like a cancer-ridden tumor. What to do, how to deal, how to get back what they steal. When dignity is taken and the spirit is broken, after all the lies, after the cruelty is spoken, hang the head, ball the fist, hit them back. Walk away in silence, awakes the attack. Maybe neither is the answer we're trying to find, when the bully's greatest weapon is control of the mind. Part of me wants to make them feel the same, pass the hurt along and justify the blame. But the cycle never ends when revenge is the guide. Somebody's gotta break it from the inside. Toss the fear and shame away, throw the mask upon the floor. Bullies can't rule your life, they don't own you anymore. No deflecting, no rejecting, no repeating what they gave you. Break the cycle, heal the wound. Become your own savior. A bully's mask always falls.
That was so badass.
Thank you. Oh, I got to do something.
Yeah. I was going to say, wait, we're on the wrong side.
Welcome, everyone, to Phoenix Talks, a show that we started, many moons ago now, that's completely organic. The conversation that we're about to have, which I'm going to have to throw something up very shortly about, but the conversation that we're about to have, we have not talked about prior to this show. We have sat in our own thoughts with it. If either of us wanted to do any research, we did. We usually don't. We usually just
talk
have the
about
conversation. It's completely organic, unprepared, unrehearsed. The only thing that's prepared is the song you just saw, which was a really difficult one to write this
that
time
was amazing.
because it's one of those that requires this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to be talking about bullies tonight.
Yeah. So this
Bullies,
is your
bullying.
huh?
Oh my God, where to start?
What came to mind and why did this topic come up?
It came up because I've been a recipient of it many, many times.
Mhm.
And there's only been one time that, and by the way, we're probably going to weave in some politics. We're going to weave in some discrimination. We're going to weave in some racism. So be prepared. That's why I threw up the trigger warning, because we're going to go a little bit off the cuff from how we normally talk tonight. I knew that going into this topic. But many years ago, when I was still living in Alabama, I was the recipient of direct bullying from a Coke bottle tossed from a car while screaming the word faggot.
Wow.
That's where it really hit home in my chest. Went to the ER to make sure no damage was done. But it's one of those things. Bullying, to me, isn't always as, like I started in the song, we always see these stereotypical caricatures of bullies in TV, especially when it's a coming of age movie or program where somebody is pushed down, pushed to the side, made fun of because they're different. But that's not the biggest case of bullying. It's the silent bullying in the background of defamation, of spreading lies, spreading rumors, so that an essence of control can be held over someone for whatever reason.
So
And since I thought of this topic actually 2 weeks ago, but because of events that had recently happened, I decided I wasn't in the right mindset to talk about it, which is why we had the other topic last week. But I needed to calm down because I experienced and observed background bullying from people that I thought were friends.
So let's talk about what bullying is. Right now, people like there's all this anti-bullying campaign and all this anti don't do this, don't do that. But if we're not calling it what it really is, we're not really addressing the issue. Bullying is abuse. It's coercive control. Let's call it what it actually is. Okay? And we all learn unhealthy shit. We all learn toxic ways of communication. We all learn, watch your own back and look out for yourself. And even if that means stepping on people, that's toxic stuff that we've learned. So when we reframe it to bullying is abuse, do you want to see yourself as an abuser? Do you want to see yourself as a coercive controller? All right, we'll talk about self-bullying later, because I think right now we need to start with the external piece.
Yeah.
We've all experienced, especially the neurospices, lifetime of bullying in one way, shape, or form, whether at the office, right? How many of us had coworkers that found us to be a threat and decided to attack us in whatever ways it came out, whether it was backhanded compliments, okay? Because it still kind of feels like an attack when you're being disrespected, even if it comes out nice, in a nice tone. There's bullying in every avenue, work, home,
Yeah.
friendship circles, hobbies, whatever areas of life, there's going to be abuse. Okay. And adult bullies exist. It doesn't stop when we're kids. It carries over into adulthood. And that's one of the biggest lies we were told about bullying is like, oh, well, once you grow up, you grow out of it. No, now you're just an even bigger asshole. Excuse my language.
Oh, no. No. I think this episode, you're going to get a free pass on swearing.
Okay, good. So we have to redefine what bullying is and really see it for the coercive, controlling abuse that it is. Because there's only one reason to bully somebody else, and that is to make them smaller, to diminish them, to have power and control over their emotions and their actions that come from lowering their emotions.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a big example, all right, here's that shift I warned you about. No, I'm not going to use the P word, but here's that shift. And I'm going to be very careful because who I'm about to talk about is on the prowl for people talking about them now. And that's bullying, what they're doing.
It's triangulation if you want to get technical.
Which is still bullying. It's still bullying. It's still maintaining control.
Mm-hmm.
And you see it with detainees. There's your clue as to whom I'm referring to. Being dragged away, being treated the way that they are. That's bullying at a violent level. But the people who are allowing it, there's the triangulation. Because the people that are allowing it are the bigger bullies. They just have minions to carry it out. So there's a visual example, because I know that so many people are seeing this right now going on wherever they look. This person is detained. This center is not being run the way that it should. And that's a devastatingly present version of bullying.
And that's at the highest level. That's the example.
Yeah.
And something's got to shift that. And if that's us talking about it in this platform and helping folks navigate through their own lives of bulliedness that they've received or, partaken in, I want to step back for a second. What causes bullying? Let's talk about what causes bullying. Let's talk about what causes a person to become somebody who loses compassion for others to the point where they have no regard or consideration for how they have an impact on them with their words and actions.
Many of these are people who were in an abusive situation and had no control, and were spoken to the way that they treat others, and they project and deflect.
Trauma. You come from trauma. Sometimes your fight response turns into bullying. So I'm going to pause here for a second and get it a little bit more trigger warning and say, in what ways in our lives were we accidentally bullies? In what ways in our lives did we accidentally project our pain onto other people? I'm just going to leave it there, because this really isn't about us going down that rabbit hole right now today. I think it's more about how do we navigate through being the victim of abuse, and how do we move past it? How do we set healthy boundaries? How do we call it out? How do we do something different moving forward? How do we stand up for somebody who's being bullied? And identifying it is part of the process. We need to identify it as abuse, so that, because we know more about narcissistic abuse than anything else, right? Everybody's researching that. Everybody's looking it up. Yeah. The bully is the same thing. You're separating the two. Make the boogie. The boogie. The boogie.
Make the boogeyman.
make the bully as big an issue as what it actually is, and that's the abuse. Everybody's researching abuse and healing through abuse. Bullying is abuse. So when we're navigating through our own journey and seeing all the ways in which we've been the subject of an abusive attack and how we navigated through it, we need to boogeyman, yes. we need to observe how we feel. How do we feel? Are we feeling like we're less than? Are we feeling like there's something wrong with us? Do we feel like we're not worthy? Do we feel like we're not enough? Do we feel like we can't do anything right? All of those survival mode mentalities and responses are not changing the circumstances or situation. Do you mind if we dive into boundaries that we need to set and how to shut things down and how to call it out?
Go for it.
Okay, because I feel like I really want people to learn how to call it out. So if there's something that doesn't sit right in your soul, because you're going to check out, you're going to observe how you feel. If it don't sit right in your soul and it feels like kind of an injustice or a violation on any level of that spectrum, you could call it out with things like, what did you mean by that? How did you expect that to land? Is that really how you feel? An awkward pause is very powerful, where you just stare at the person and say nothing.
That's one of my favorites, by the way.
And then follow it with a, what did you mean by that? How did you think that would land?
Excuse me, did you watch the video or did you just watch the first 9 seconds? Because based on your response, okay, now dovetailing on that, you know, being a content creator and posting recently, from guidance telling me to, sometimes it's like, why? Literally putting me into the fire of bullying responses.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, it's just like, I love you. And that's one of the things that, and this is where Diane is going with this, I think, is that disarm the bully.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Don't give them more ammunition by responding based off of that catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
Because that catcher's mitt gets lit up. For those of you who are new, it's that feeling right in the sternum that you get when you start to get nervous, get angry. You feel your emotions shift in a negative way, and it's right here, and I call it the catcher's mitt.
Yeah.
And I bring it to your attention that way so that it's something that where you can actually pay attention and catch yourself before you are playing into proving them
Mm-hmm.
that you are how they think you are and how they're trying to make you feel.
So here's what not to do. Do not offer an explanation for whatever it is they're saying. Do not defend yourself from whatever it is that they're throwing at you. Do not give credence, value, or weight to what comes out of their mouth. Period. Period. Instead, maintain your own sovereignty and disarm them with whatever we talked about. And if it's online, you can do the same thing. And I saw one of the comments in there too, because really it's, you're being disrespected. You're being disrespected. And this isn't like culturally what's deemed as disrespectful. This is like a genuine emotional violation. Okay. Because a lot of us come from cultures where it's like, well, you didn't come in and say hello to me first. That's disrespectful. You know what? That's a crock of shit. Okay. That's not what we're talking about. Forget that shit. We're talking about a sincere violation, which you feel in your body, in your soul. So online, it's a little different because there's no face to face. Everyone's got courage when they're sitting behind a computer and nobody can see your face. Okay. It's a lot easier to be a bully when you're sitting behind a computer, and it's a lot easier to project false statements, false concern, false intentions. And it's if folks don't understand circumstances, how are they going to know? You have thousands of people who are reading bullying comments, not understanding that their intentions are not okay. So it's covert in a sense. So it's a little more challenging because you don't have it obvious right in your face in your presence, because you could feel
Right.
the energy of the person when they're right in your presence. You could feel their anxiety. You could feel their whatever issues are internally when they're in your presence. When they're online, you have no idea. So it's a little harder to discern when it's somebody online. And so always go back to yourself, always go back to what you know to be true, and maintain your sovereignty so that you can. And I saw somebody mention up here, a lot of times bullies, that triangulations you were talking about behind the scenes, a lot of times bullies don't go straight to the person with a concern. They go to other people around.
Nope.
And assume that they're going to win favor because that's a new ear, that's a new person, that's a new situation, that maybe they'll buy into whatever it is that they're selling.
I really like this comment. J.M. Cage, those passive aggressive, backhanded comments by people you love is like death from 1,000 cuts.
Yeah, that's very poetic and true. Yeah. Yes. I mean, that's the thing. Unless you're sincere, don't make it. And if you feel someone else is not sincere or has no business reaching out to others on your behalf without reaching out to you first, I want you to see it for what it is. Their insecurities projected, their inadequacies being projected, their need for approval being projected. All of those things, their own feelings of not enoughness and unworthiness and all that stuff is getting projected, and not in the good intention, not from a heart-centered space. So online, it's a little more challenging.
And one of the things, while we're still online, one of the things when a belief system, a certain set of traditions, numbers, perceptions are challenged in a way that literally takes them off guard and goes against everything that they think is right, based on where they came from, is going to determine how they respond. People can disagree. There is nothing wrong with having a disagreement with somebody and it being a healthy conversation. But when it is an immediate deflection of, well, you're just like X, that's bullying. And I bet most people who see this show, hear the song, see the posts, have done it at some point. I know I have. And then I realized, wait, I don't have to respond like this. I don't agree with you, but I don't have to talk down because I don't agree with you. And I don't have to judge. Oh my goodness. We can have some fun with judgments that have come.
Judgment is like at the base of bullying. Like there's absolutely judgment slathered all over bullying. Absolutely.
I mean, I was asked, where's your purse? Love your earrings. Huh? What does that have to do with what you were just presented with? Now you're just being an ass. Why? because it's safe. It's a safe place for bullies to get it out and think that they can diminish someone else, make them feel less about themselves so that they'll shut up, because part of them. Now, here's the fun part as an empath that I know, and this is the fun part of bullying. When they attack you like that on social media, you have tapped into something that they've already begun to question but didn't want to question because everybody around them is believed that they are associated with. They hold the same beliefs and they don't want to lose this set of people. So they're going to hold on to that. Meanwhile, you just challenged what they actually believe. And so that they can maintain the control that they have over where they are and who they're around, tag, you're it. Sound familiar to anyone recently? Because I just described what happened last week.
Yeah. So, yes, J.M. Cage says they don't have to work on themselves and they're always busy judging and attacking others. Yeah. Yes.
That too.
So when it comes to online stuff, knowing that it's more challenging to discern, I implore you to do your research and your homework. And I like to say straight from the horse's mouth. If you're not receiving information straight from the horse's mouth, you can't validate it and you can't verify it. So you have to become conscious of validating and verifying information that you're not sure feels right to your soul, because it's a little harder to tell, but you can still feel like, I don't know about this, right? We have to know that bullying has been normalized. Abuse is part of the normal culture. We have to unnormalize abuse. That's really where this is going. We can't unnormalize abuse if we don't call it out. We can't say it's not okay and still allow it to continue. And when you see someone else being bullied and see someone else trying to be a coercive controller and abuser on some level, you do have a responsibility to maintain peace in your own experience. So maybe if we shift our perspective from, well, I don't want to get involved in someone else's business, to this is disrupting my peace and I'm not going to have that in my energy field. Now we're shifting it to, I don't accept unhealthy behavior in my space, period. And handle it that way. You'll have facts available to you when you do your research and homework and validate and verify, right? You'll have expansion and a sense of clarity so that you can approach the situation with absolute clarity and not fall into an emotional trap. Because what is abuse? Abuse is an emotional trap. It is meant to destabilize you emotionally so that you make choices that go in survival mode instead of in alignment with who you truly are and with your heart-centered space.
Mm-hmm.
So you seeing that activity in your space is an opportunity for you to shift from, ooh, not my circus, not my monkeys, to that person doesn't deserve to be treated subhuman. And this is disrupting my peace and I'm not going to stand for it. So shifting
I had
ourselves.
a few of those. I've had a few of those where they were like, back off. I mean, that was the general gist of what they said. It was like, back off.
Yeah.
You don't know him. You don't know what he's been through. Because sometimes, especially for content creators, and I want to do some focus on content creators because they are some of the biggest recipients of direct social media bullying.
Absolutely.
Especially right now. By total
And by-
strangers.
right.
All day, every day, every post. Every single time. And they have an opportunity every single time to give in, be passive aggressive, respond that way, or move on next, and just realize people are going to be like that.
Yeah. Yes, it's very scary to put yourself out there online, and I can't be consistent with this stuff, and it has nothing to do with me being afraid to be online. It's just it makes my brain blow up, and then I have nothing left for actual stuff that needs to happen. So it's not good for my executive function. But
I get it. I totally get that.
when you do have the capacity to do online stuff, it is scary because you are going to have individuals who are going to come on there and try to destabilize you, because that's ultimately what it is an attempt to destabilize you for their own insecure or whatever issues. So what you can do,
They can't shut up Fox News, but they can try to shut you up.
right? So get yourself a moderator who can block and delete for you. If you have enough time and capacity, block and delete, block and delete, block and delete, without allowing that words or whatever the heck was attempted to seep into you. Maintaining your sovereignty is important. Maintaining your self-belief is important, because right when we hear bullying, even online, by complete strangers who have no bearing on our existence at all, we go right back into that child who got bullied. First from their family, right? From their origin family, because how many of us got bullied by siblings, by parents, by aunts and uncles, etc. Okay, in school, even teachers bullying us. Condescending is bullying, belittling is bullying, making you feel stupid is bullying. All of that stuff. It seems like sometimes it's joking, but it's not joking. Sarcasm can absolutely be bullying. So use your discernment and understand, I'm an adult. This person has zero effect on my existence. Block and delete without letting it seep in, because that's not fair to you. If you let abuse seep into your soul, you're destabilizing. You're allowing yourself to be destabilized. Don't do that.
Less than a year ago, I couldn't do what I've been doing. Just couldn't. I would have run screaming. I don't know how or why it shifted, but oh yeah, I do. Fire horse here. I got something to say to that fire horse.
Yeah. And somebody's asking if blocking and deleting is a form of response. Yeah, it is. That's an absolute response. The response is, I'm not dealing with this shit and you don't belong in my space. That's the response. Absolutely. Yes, let that be.
Even if it's family.
Even if it's family sometimes. We have to set boundaries with everybody.
Someone needed to hear that.
Yes. Don't waste your energy on BS. Correct. That's the point. The point is, if we're on this healing journey and we're trying to protect our peace and we're trying to change the way we approach life, we also have to change the way we react and respond to that trigger. We cannot.
What just dawned on me is that BS stands for bullshit, but we can always change that to bullies shit. I'm just saying.
Yeah. A lot of us on the healing journey are recovering bullies, because that, again, is survival mode. We've all been a bully in survival mode in some way. Just ask my children. I'm not a horrible person. I didn't mean to. Our intentions are never bad. It's a learning thing. Let's unlearn what was normalized. Abuse was normalized. We all learned it. Let's unnormalize it and unlearn it and do things very, very, very differently moving forward. Because the way we need to move forward and allow ourselves to open our hearts to everything and everyone is to be compassionate. And then we can be compassionate towards the bullies. We don't have to associate you with them. We're going to block and delete you, but we're going to send you love and healing and hope that you have become self-aware.
You want to know one of the most surprising examples of bullying that I saw in between last week and this week? I have a friend who is a practicing witch, and there is bullying in the spiritual community.
The ones who are supposed to be love and light? Again, if
Guys,
you're not unlearning what's toxic, you're maintaining the abuse and you're maintaining what's been normalized. You need to be self-aware and be on that journey of unlearning what's toxic and unhealthy, unlearning the ways in which you're self-sabotaging, because every time you emit that signal of toxicity, you're sabotaging your own journey.
yeah.
So care more about your peace and what that means for you to have to do. That's the hard part. It's hard to unlearn all of that stuff. It's not an easy journey, but it's necessary in order for us to shift the whole paradigm. Otherwise, this crap is going to be the same. I mean, if society is a reflection of who's in the office, that should tell you a lot. That tells you a whole lot.
This face.
Yeah. So we as a society need to shift so that who is in the office is a reflection of what we want, not what we're tolerating and accepting as normal. That's not.
Yeah.
So ask yourself.
Look at the example that we just had the weekend prior to this episode. Look at the example that took place on the White House lawn. Where it's okay for grown, half-naked men to beat the shit out of each other. But they have a problem with pride. Anyway. Yeah, I had to throw that in there. Because, really?
Right, Michael, we need to pivot. We need to pivot. And I think, Micah, you froze.
Stan.
Oh, there you are. You froze. Repeat what you were saying. Yep. We missed the first part of that. Say that again.
I got too close to the computer. That's what happened. I got a little excited there for a second, and my energy's temperance. Anyway. Competitive sports is what I was about to lead into. I see where it's a good thing for people to have skill in sports. But the dangers of the promotion of the bullying that can come as a result. You see the infighting just based on sports. Really? My team's better than your team. You're not even on the team. We won. No, we didn't. They did. And trust me, I'm not trying to put down anybody who enjoys a good Knicks game, because I know that there was so much joy about that particular victory. Why? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Basketball isn't my thing. There is goodness in competition. Why? Because those people train to be better. And not just better towards somebody else. Better in general. Better at what they do. And that's why there is good merit to healthy sporting competition. But when it turns into what we see,
personal attack, insults, threats, then that's
leave your ego on the bench once you get on the court. Just play the game the way that you were taught and the way that you planned. Don't be a dick.
Right. Underneath every abusive person is a rage and a sadness. There's grief, there's sadness, and there's pain. Tremendous amounts of pain. So if we catch ourselves putting someone else down, saying a snide comment, giving a backhanded compliment, if we catch ourselves in one of those moments, we need to realize that there's pain behind it. What am I feeling right now? What's the pain underneath this issue that I'm having right now that I'm projecting onto someone else, right? And if you're getting projected on, we can have compassion for that individual as a human being. We don't want to get filled with rage. We don't want to get filled with resentment, with anger, with victimhood. We don't want to get filled with all of that. That's unhealthy for us. We can have righteous anger towards the circumstances so that we can advocate for ourselves. Okay, we can advocate for ourselves and we can defend and stand up for ourselves in the way that's appropriate. And yes, sometimes that looks like block and delete and walking away and calling them out and setting healthy boundaries. Okay, the healthy boundaries is a must. And sometimes that is a complete disconnect and no contact. That's
And, if
okay.
you, and the more you feel violated, the more there's a need for it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
If it's just a flippant comment like some of the ones that I've seen, okay, you're just coming onto my page because I appeared on yours. Thank you, algorithm, for whatever reason.
Mhm.
Whatever. Now, see, this is the fun part about the people who bully, because they will come at others, like content creators, because whatever it was that they were looking at, talking about, because phones listen now, computers listen. You can't tell it not to. It's still listening to you. That's what cookies are for.
Mhm.
We'll just call it the blue fuzzy cookie monster. And it led, whatever it was that you were looking at, I landed on your page. I'm sorry. You didn't have to listen to me or any other content creator. If what somebody has to say doesn't align with you, scroll.
Right.
But if it's just going to be a flippant comment, like, don't be such a pussy, grow up.
The key is to
Next.
see it for what it is and not allow it to be seeped in. I want to
Right.
put something on the screen and pivot for a second in this direction and answer this question a little bit, because this is at home is the biggest challenge. Why is it the biggest challenge? Because as a child, you had no choice. You were dictated to. You didn't get boundaries as a there was no such thing in a lot of culture, society, religion. So we're coming from a space where we didn't get to have boundaries as a kid. That's why it's so much harder to deal with family, because they've been trained that there's no boundaries and all goes, and what they say goes. That's the conditioning and the programming. So unless they're working on themselves the way you're working on yourself, they're going to keep doing it. And that's where it becomes a challenge, because you have to love them where they're at from a distance. If it's toxic for you and detrimental to your own growth and evolution and health and well-being, you need to limit your interaction. You can say things to family like, I understand that's what you believe and that works for you, but that's not where I'm at and that's not what I believe. So that's fine for you, but that doesn't work for me. And you'll have to repeat things like that multiple times. I told my family, no, thank you. I don't deal with that energy. That's not where I live. So no, thank you. And they don't understand what I'm saying because they're not at the capacity and compassion level that I'm at. And they're used to their own programming and conditioning. So understand that family is the hardest thing, because systemically it's the conditioning and the programming, and that's what they're trained. They're used to it. Same as like if you're in a relationship and you spoil them by not speaking up, by tolerating things, by making excuses for behaviors, by rationalizing behaviors, you understand that what's going to happen is you're training them how to treat you. So that's why as an adult now, it's so important to maintain your sovereignty. The way you treat yourself, the respect you show yourself, and the boundaries that you maintain for yourself tells people how to treat you, is a deterrent of bullying in it of itself. Okay. Bullying
Yeah.
doesn't have to stay in your space because you're going to shut it down.
Right. If whether it's family, friends, or otherwise, if you don't want to be controlled by a bully, don't give it to them.
Right.
And stop giving it to them.
Right. Right. Stop being intimidated by the bully. What's the worst that's going to happen? Are they going to do physical damage? Okay. Are they going to
They're,
ruin your reputation?
they're going to try harder. Let's be honest. Let's
Right.
be very candidly honest. When you try and put a bully to stop, to rest, they're going to try harder at first. And this is where the narcissism comes in. Narcissism, sorry, that comes in.
Yeah.
And abuse comes in. Because as soon, and this is why so many people are afraid to stand up to bullies,
Right.
especially if it's family, which is one reason why many bullies couldn't. Ooh, I know I froze big time on that one.
Yeah.
They couldn't.
Right.
So they had to find an outlet for someone else to put that on.
Mm-hmm.
When you are not in control of a situation, but you need to feel like you're in control and you can't control your own life, what are you going to do?
Controlling everyone around you and everything around you. And yeah, our families and our people around us, we all have the same conditioning and programming in this system, in the culture and the religions. If we're meant to break these generational paradigms, then we have to stop feeding into it. And that means doing the hard things, such as standing up for yourself and being okay with redirecting our energy elsewhere. Because maybe, like I was saying, like, what are they going to do? What's the worst that they can do to you? Ruin your reputation, hurt you physically, all those things. So there's very real consequences sometimes. However, I'm going to say that you standing up for yourself is the best thing you can do for yourself, regardless of the consequences that they're going to project at you, because there's billions of people on this planet. And so if they can ruin your reputation, those people weren't your people to begin with. If they're going to get close enough to you to do physical harm and do those things to you, you can jet yourself out of there. Not participating in that energy is the best thing that you can do. What's going to make things worse for you is defending yourself, explaining yourself, trying to prove yourself, right? That's what we end up doing, especially in family situations. It is exhausting. I saw a comment in there about parents baiting us.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. We get baited because don't forget, they learned what they learned. They're just repeating what they learned. That's normal to them. Is that normal to us, though? We get to choose what's normal to us. And feeling like shit isn't normal. That's not okay. Having someone make you feel like shit is not okay at all.
No.
You
And
being
not to delineate the pain that is experienced from somebody else, making anyone feel like they're not enough in any way, shape, or form. Not to delineate that that's an actual thing that's being said, being done.
Mhm.
But the length to which it's allowed is not up to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Up to you.
It's
If
up to
you generally, you specifically, whoever this needs to go out to, I know that it's in response to a comment in the chat, but it's not uncommon. If anyone is tired of feeling a certain way because of the words of a bully over them,
Mhm.
you're going to be able to change yourself before you change the bully.
When you change yourself, the bully becomes irrelevant. That's the thing. When you become sovereign within yourself, everyone else around you becomes irrelevant. That doesn't align with your vibration, that doesn't align with your core values. Your core values are not to make people feel like crap.
Mhm.
I want to pivot again to another family circumstance here. Bubble kittens.
You're saying that word on purpose so many times. I know
I
you are.
am. Oh, I'm having so much fun.
You love making, speaking of bubble kittens, you love making her squirm. Go ahead. Because she hates that word.
So what you're finding right now is responding and not reacting, and the reprogramming of your own self while helping your daughter. We're going to make mistakes as parents because we're first of all, I'm very proud of you. You're helping your daughter by healing yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. I promise you that's going to carry so much further in her healing than you realize. Years ago, I did one of those. Well, I'm sorry you think I made you do that, or I'm sorry you feel that way about this whole circumstance. That's not apologies. I alienated my kids. That was my ego. That was me trying to feel like I'm not a bad person. I'm not a horrible person. I'm a good person.
And
Huh? You know,
I guarantee that when you said that, your catcher's mitt was lit up. And
yeah,
you were feeling that quiver in that
yeah,
catcher's mitt when you were saying that. I guarantee it. Because I've been there too,
yeah,
trying to defend myself. Well, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. Okay, well, I
yeah,
actually did the body language on purpose that went along with it so you could see that it was a lie.
yeah,
Because my body told you something completely different than the words coming out of my mouth. The tone said something completely
yeah,
different. That's not genuine. That
yeah,
is reaction.
yeah. All we can do is hold space for our kids and remember the first part of their life up until today has been their version of shit. Their eyes, their perspective, their experience with us is something very different than we believe our experience with them is. That's one of my greatest lessons as a parent is the way I'm perceived is far different than the way I had perceived myself, because in my mind I didn't do what was I was suffering from. So therefore, I wasn't the one who was creating a problem. I didn't know that I was creating a problem in my survival mode. That's where we need to become sovereign within ourselves. That's where we need to be healing and improving and continuously communicating our healing and improving to our kids. Not to say, well, I'm doing this and I'm doing that. They don't want to hear about you. What they want to see, kids watch you. They want to see you show up differently. So that's all you have to do. You have to show up differently. You have to treat them differently. You have to talk to them differently. You have to make them feel differently than they did before. And it takes time. When it comes to children, I say I'm in it for the long game. I'm by far not a perfect parent. I'm mostly not there. You know, I have my own struggles and I do my best, but I'm not the kind of parent that this cookie cutter June Cleaver thing at all.
I'm sorry, a perfect parent is a perfect lie. There's no such fucking thing as a
There
perfect
isn't.
parent.
That's the point. There isn't.
That is a perfect lie.
Yes. We're all human beings healing. We're all human beings navigating. And so your reaction or your intention to not react is beautiful, and hitting the pause button and listening, going into listening mode and putting yourself in your kids' shoes and seeing yourself through their eyes. That's hard to do, but our children give us the most motivation to see ourselves ugly, right? Because we don't want to hurt that last thing we want to do is hurt our kids. We're trying to protect them from being hurt because we were hurt, right? So the best thing we can do for ourselves is listen and allow ourselves to see ourselves through their eyes. without defending it, without giving I'm saying excuses because that's what it sounds like to the child, without over explaining your behavior because that sounds like excuses to your child.
I'm tired. I had to work all day.
No, we need to validate our children. We need to hear them, and we need to show up differently and improve upon what it is that they're pointing out to us. They are our mirrors. So if we don't like what we're seeing in them, ooh, oh God, in what way? Where did they learn that
Oh,
from?
I tell parents that all the time, that when you have a child that is refusing to listen to you, autism levels aside, but when you have a child that's refusing to listen to you, acting out, doing things just to spite you, I want you to hit the pause button and check in. Where are you at? What's your mood? What's your energy? Why? Because they, like she just said, are your mirrors. They are going to tell you through their actions, through their behavior, where you're at.
Yeah. I
And
feel
it's
like
their way of trying to hit the pause, the block delete button. That's their version of, would you see what I'm going through?
yeah. So
And stop
I think
deflecting
we
on
are.
me.
I think we are going to have a part two because I'm looking at the time. So we might have to be continued on this conversation because there is so many avenues in which this plays out in life because there's a lot of normalized abuse out there on so many different levels. So we might have to have a continuation of this next week. But for now, I leave you with this homework. If it don't feel right, it ain't right. If you see something in your space that isn't right, you need to speak up about it. That's your responsibility to yourself to maintain your peace because you're teaching people what you will and won't tolerate in speaking up so that they know not to mess with you. Okay, so that's your homework. Your homework is to practice that being righteous and advocate for yourself and your peace and not tolerating anything that is discriminatory, disruptive, diminishing, belittling, condescending, anything that feels wrong to you.
Right. And we will pause there.
Yeah.
Coming up right after the show at 9 p.m. Eastern over on Zeno.fm, Rise Radio, will be Honky Tonk Heaven with Will Iomi. Go and check that out. It's a lot of fun. Tomorrow morning, Diane and I will be back, joined by Michael J. himself, the third of the Oracle of Rise Awakenings, and we will be seeing what shit we can't make up in the morning.
I know. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun
With the
show.
core. It is going to be a fun
Especially
show.
with the astrological things happening. That's woo. Okay. Let's go.
And then tomorrow afternoon, Michael will be back with Defining Your Character, I hope, at 5 p.m. I say that nervously lately. But also on Sunday, Amanda, Papa Duck 78, will be hosting Mystic Mist over on Rise Radio at 4 p.m. Eastern. So check that out. And to anyone who is watching on the replay, if you're watching on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcast, my YouTube, or Rise Radio Network's YouTube. Whew, that's a lot. We can't do this without you. So we are putting out a call to action for your support to continue Rise Radio Networks.
Yeah.
Via donations. And if you go over to embersoflight.net, you can show support. You can either do a one-time donation or you can become a subscriber monthly. We thank anything that comes our way so that we can keep bringing you these programs.
Yes.
So
with Mike, you and I are going to do that whole, like, they can get a session with us with a certain donation kind of thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anybody who does a $15 subscription will be put into a drawing to get a reading with either Diane or myself. Full. It'll be a full reading, not just one that we throw off really quickly. Or anybody who does a $75 subscription or one time. I'm going to put that out there. $75 or subscription per month or a one-time. You can pick. And we will donate our time to you to give you a full reading. So,
Yes. Or session, whichever
or
resonates
session,
with
whichever.
you.
Yep. So that is what's going on.
Yeah.
Love each other, please.
Yes, love each other. Love yourself first so that you know how to identify what isn't love. We love you.
Yourselves. Love yourselves. Keep going, keep glowing, keep growing. And here's one more time, Bully's Mask to close up the show. Have an amazing night. And we'll see you soon.
Love you.
We know about the ones. We know about the ones. We know about the ones. We know about the ones walking down the halls of school, acting out, being loud, thinking that they're cool, picking on the little guy, pushing him around. We know about the ones. We know about the ones walking down the halls of school, acting out, being loud, thinking that they're cool, picking on the little guy, pushing him around, saying, "What's that? Shut up, don't make a sound." Being cruel, throwing down, laughing at them, musing at the ones who won't fight back, that keep abusing, creating fear to avoid what's actually inside. A bully's mask they wear to hide. Toss them out, put them down, push them to the floor. Take the money, take the pride, always wanting more. Deflecting, rejecting, gossip, spreading rumors. Anger on the inside grows like a cancer-ridden tumor. But what about the ones that never throw a punch? Hanging with the populars, what the proper bunch? Picking on the ones who don't really fit in, throwing out slurs as if existence was a sin. Leaders telling rose-colored lies to the ones who are in need to join the group led by a manufactured creed. Gaslight the ones who were stolen in the night, forced to the back of the bus, hide in plain sight, creating a fear of a different kind. Lies of a bully to mess with the mind. Toss them out, put them down, push them to the floor. Take the money, take the pride, always wanting more. Deflecting, rejecting, gossip, spreading rumors. Anger on the inside grows like a cancer-ridden tumor. What to do, how to deal, how to get back what they steal. When dignity is taken and the spirit is broken, after all the lies, after the cruelty is spoken, hang the head, ball the fist, hit them back. Walk away in silence, awakes the attack. Maybe neither is the answer we're trying to find, when the bully's greatest weapon is control of the mind. Part of me wants to make them feel the same, pass the hurt along and justify the blame. But the cycle never ends when revenge is the guide. Somebody's gotta break it from the inside. Toss the fear and shame away, throw the mask upon the floor. Bullies can't rule your life, they don't own you anymore. No deflecting, no rejecting, no repeating what they gave you. Break the cycle, heal the wound, become your own savior. A bully's mask always falls.
Hey, this is Brindlewolf. You're listening to Rise Awakenings, part of the Rise Radio Network where advice meets action, with programs to spark your growth, lift your spirits, and help you rise into your potential. Rise Awakenings! Hear the call. Through the static, we break the wall. Your station, your voice where dreams awaken and climb. Rise Awakening, now is the time. Rise Awakenings. Let's rise together.